as you can see this week, I have a very special guest with me. Everybody, this is Marc Reagan, otherwise known as Mr. Bobbi Brown Pro on Instagram, and Marc is the Global Director of Artistry for Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. Hiya.
Hiya.
Thanks for coming to London.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're having a lot of fun, predominantly working with the UK Pro team, but after I posted my picture with Marc, I was inundated with requests to film with Marc. So, your wish is my command. And here we have a video. And actually, I'm going to credit the lovely Liz Davis for this video. Liz, thank you for your comment under my video. You said that you've recently had a brow service at your local Bobbi Brown, and it was the best shape and service you'd ever had.
I like hearing that.
So do I. So props to your artist, but I'm really pleased you had such a great time. And it occurred to me that possibly, Marc, our brow service is one of our best kept secrets.
I think so. I think people want to learn what the perfect brow is for them. I think that really is what they're looking for, because you're born with different brows, right? There are no two brows that are the same.
Right. And a good brow can be a total game changer. We even saw that yesterday when you did a bit of brow work with someone, and the whole face shape changes.
Sometimes it's those small little tweaks, whether it's filling in gaps or even just removing a couple hairs, can be such a game changer for an entire face.
I love that. Yeah. So, on that note, I'll put a link in the description box below, but you can book in at any Bobbi Brown studio for a brow how lesson, and that is using all of these brow goodies here, and
our favorites.
Right, and our artist will teach you how you can fill in and groom your brow. But that's not all. In most studios now, we have a trained brow artist or brow specialist who can shape, who can tweeze, who can trim. It's a paid-for service, but it's redeemable against any product. Again, more details I'll put below. And you can get yourselves one of these, which is a Brow How loyalty card. So chaps, you get your stamp every time you have your Brow How lesson, and the 6th one is on us.
That's amazing.
I know, right?
I need one.
Yes! So, I'm thrilled because actually Marc has never done my face before.
Nope.
Can you believe 11 years? What's a girl got to do?
I guess. Just wait until right now.
Right. So Marc is going to do my brow using from our family brow product, his favourite product, including I think possibly 2 brand spanking new ones. And I'm thrilled because I very rarely get my makeup done, but even yesterday, purely off the cuff, Marc was like, oh, I'd love to accentuate your arch. Bring it, I'm ready.
She told me that she wanted my input on her brow, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a little bit more on shaping your brows and bringing out your best features. Your eyes are definitely our favorite. Yeah. Doesn't everyone love watching Hannah bring out her eyes, but you have to frame the face, you have to frame the eye, and you have to support and give it structure.
Exactly.
So that's what we're going to do.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's get started, because brows are very personal. Everyone has a different shape naturally. Everyone's looking for a different shape stylistically, but it really is about enhancing your particular features and not trying to apply what you see on someone else to your face if it doesn't work.
Right. So personally, and I know you know this about me, but the current trend for a full brow, like first of all, I just don't like the aesthetic, because like we have brow hair, we don't have a lot of colour above the eye. But secondly, I'm time poor when I get ready. Yeah. So I need something that I can do that looks great, but isn't time costly. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Something quick.
Yeah. Okay. So let's break into this. We're going to do this side first, then show you the before and the after and the effects of it. And let's talk a little bit about choosing form and what formula works best for you. So what are your preferences when it comes to a brow?
Guys, I love the dark brow kit, purely because the colour has been intense enough for me because the light brow kit was too light, and I love the speed and finish of powder.
Okay, and we love the brow kit also because you get tweezers, you get the applicator, which is a mini eyebrow brush, and when you don't have the sharpest of eyesight and you need more detail, you have a magnifying mirror.
Oh my goodness, the amount of times
I know.
Women will come to me and they'll replenish their brow kit and they're like, a magnifying mirror?
They didn't even know it was there.
I know, right?
I know. Hello,
So
gotta use it.
But it's awesome. Even if you have great eyesight, it's just handy to have a much bigger view of your
It really
brow.
is,
And
yes.
it means you can get all those like really fine
It
hairs,
does.
which I have a lot of.
But let me warn you guys, because if you only use the magnifying mirror, you will tweeze your brow until you have a little twig left on your brow bone.
No one wants
Don't
that.
do that. So
Don't
always
do that.
do a couple at a time. And the best tip I can give all of our Bobbi Brown fans out there is that when you're looking for the shape in the brow and you're tweezing, only tweeze in rows across, never tweeze up and down. So when you tweeze in rows across, you can take one row out, maybe one row is only 2 hairs, take those two hairs out first, then take a step back, look, then go into the next row. But if you tweeze in columns, you're always going to dig into that body of the brow that you don't want to take away from.
Love that. That's a nugget of genius right there.
Okay, so let's talk about where we fill in, and then I also talk about other options that you can use with the same technique. So for instance, let's shape Hannah's brow. I'm using our brow definer and brow groomer dual-ended brush because I love that I have a little spoolie on the other end that I can brush product through and also shape where the hairs end up. So if your hairs naturally grow downwards, everyone's different, but if they naturally grow downwards, you want to brush in that motion, right? So that you can see where the root of the brow is and fill in at the root first. Okay. I don't have to tell you this, but I'm telling you guys this. But we're having a conversation about it because we can bounce off of each other. So what I'm going to do is use the darker shade first so that we get that nice shape to the body of the brow and give that structure around the perimeter. And then we're going to fill in with the lighter shade because you don't want to over-define your brows. Like you were saying, you don't want a solid block of color.
No.
So if you use the same shade of powder, sometimes you can get that really solid brow that just doesn't look natural.
You know, I just feel it makes me look angry.
Yeah.
I don't want to look angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accidentally.
No, not accidentally. Maybe on purpose, but not accidentally.
I do a great mum stare, that's for sure.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to focus more on the top edge. You're filling in the edges. You're creating that nice seamless straight line. So on the top edge, you're creating one straight line from the head of the brow to the arch. Now, if you need more of a diagram to follow, you would be marking with your brush outside the nostril is your, actually outside of the nose, I shouldn't say nostril, outside of the nose, which is the ball of the nose, that's where you want to mark your first point, where your head of your brow should start. So, if Hannah's looking straight, right outside the ball of the nose, straight up, that's where the head of her brow should start, which is where it already has hair, which is great. So we already have that marked naturally. Then where your arch is actually, you can do two things. If you want an extended arch, you can use an angle from the nostril through the iris, which is the colored part of the eye. So right through the outside of the iris, you can mark there, and that's going to extend the arch so you have a little broader shape to your brow. And then if you want more of a natural brow, you can use a vertical line straight right outside the iris, and that will give you a little bit of a shorter arch, which is not bad because that's more of a natural look. Then we will take the line from the nostril out to the corner of the eye, and that's where her tail should taper off. So you can always remember those 3 points. you will always be able to get a perfect brow for your face shape.
Amazing.
Okay.
Nothing too long, nothing too short.
No.
Just right.
We don't like those extremes, not when it comes to brows. Maybe other things. Okay, so we're going to fill in a little at a time, and I am focusing on where Hannah is most sparse in the brow, naturally. You like a little bit of an extension,
yes.
Right? So I am taking more focus to the top half of the arch and then into the tail. And because I want maximum lift in the brow, I'm going to focus on the top edge first, and then we'll go into the bottom edge so that we can connect both.
That's how I do mine.
Maybe it's because you're a professional. Then I'm going to brush through. Make sure that my shading actually works for your hairs as well as the shape that we're looking for. And then any gaps that I see, I'm just going to press a little extra pigment right in there. And ultimately, to get a natural brow, what you're trying to achieve is the look of a shadow that the hair casts upon the skin. That's ultimately what creates a natural looking brow.
Right, shadow.
Shading. So, if you over define, it immediately looks flat. And that's what makes it look very artificial. So another trick you can use is if you're over defining, like you're just in a pinch, you're in a rush, and you're putting way too much definition in, you can always go back into your powder, whatever face powder you're using, and just dust over the brows. That'll just soften it.
Okay.
Or sometimes you might color your hair and then all of a sudden the pigment you're using looks a little too red or a little too dark. This will also help soften it and kind of give it an ash tone so that it doesn't look overly red in the skin.
But again, if that's something you're struggling with, you have recently changed your hair colour, like pop to your nearest Bobbi Brown studio and an artist will help you find, newer colours that suit a bit better.
Absolutely. Okay, so
how are we looking?
How are we looking?
Possibly never better.
She's geeking out right now.
Totally.
Okay.
And Mark, just quickly, which brow kit are you using?
I'm using a brand new brow kit in medium tones, which are mink and gray, because that's been a real need for us.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, saddle, as you all know, works fine in my brows. I love it, and sometimes, especially if I'm doing a stronger eye, I need the intensity of saddle to match the intensity of my eye. However, back, a few years ago, I only ever used grey. So I'm thrilled, as I'm sure many of you will be, to have a medium option. And for those long-standing Bobbi Brown Cosmetics fans, how exciting to have mink back.
I know.
Such a lovely brown. If you're a brown fan, it's one that you will absolutely love. So I'm going to be using this as eyeshadow too, for sure.
Mink, birch, all of those great brow colors that came back into our brow kits.
Yeah. So birch is in the light kit.
Yay! Okay.
Awesome.
How do we look so far?
I'm zhuzhing my hair, Mark, so I obviously feel
you're
good.
zhuzhing your hair, but you haven't seen it yet.
I can see it in there.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, that's great.
It's a little far from me. My eyesight is not so sharp with that small screen.
Can you see, though, guys, the power of the brow? It's not overdone, it's not too heavy, but my eye is framed so much better. So I look in that monitor in front of me and I feel already finished. I felt unfinished on the tube this morning. I was a bit like,
you kept mentioning that actually.
Yeah, I was like, I feel a bit naked.
You were like,
no brow on. So,
not so comfortable right now. Okay, but should we talk about when you would use the other great brow options that we have?
Talk to me.
Okay, so our traditional brow pencil, which is called the Bobbi Brown Brow Pencil, was created with a powder formula. So instead of it being super waxy, as a lot of pencils are, show off that palm.
It's
palm
not
it's
really
not picking up.
That's fine.
Okay, you get the picture. It is a powder-based formula, so it will never look waxy on the
Thank
skin
the
and sit
Lord.
flat. I know.
You know, sometimes on the tube, I'm looking at women. I mean, as makeup artists, and
You
I'm
mean
sitting with
actually,
the protein
as
in the
we
room.
as we analyze every single person, we look at and go, oh,
We can't
just
help
like
it.
a little pinch of blush,
I know.
and maybe just a little
Clean
fill
that
in.
sponge,
Yeah,
babe.
yeah.
But often on the tube.
It's with love,
Oh,
though.
yes, said with love.
Honestly, it's with love.
But on the tube, certainly in the summer, I see a lot of shiny eyebrows where women have used a wax pencil,
Yes,
and
yes.
as they perspire,
Do you
the
ever
wax
see
is
that?
kind of melted and it looks sticky and wet.
It's shiny.
You will never get that with powder.
No.
Shiny.
Shiny, because your brow hair is
Any
never
Moana fans out there?
naturally shiny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I just caught on to that reference.
My son loves it.
Then, what if you're looking for super long wear?
Yeah. We've got you covered.
Okay. This is the best tool for anyone who is more comfortable with a pencil, one, so that's the form that you like the best. Two, you're looking for long wear, which is 16-hour.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty much everyone's work day,
Yeah.
getting to work and then getting home,
Right.
right?
But also potentially your workout,
Workouts, yeah.
what else do you do that's durable in the day?
W-
Your commute.
Yeah,
if you're
I was
in
gonna
London.
say, if you're just going through the tube, that's enough of a workout for your brow. Okay, and then you got spoolie on the other side. So you have tool, which is in the shape of a brow brush, which is the best part. So it's in this angled, what we call sword shape. And that is giving you a sharp point that you can get finer detail with, or use it as you would, leading with the short end as a brow brush, and just go right into the brow hairs. It adheres to the hairs and the skin at the same time.
So we've got a lot of UK athletes who are massive fans of said long wear brow pencil because they can compete. We had a couple of Bobbi fans who wore them when they were competing in the Olympics, and it just means that they can be on tele, groomed, performing, you know, at
That's
their
amazing.
best, and their brow will stay in place.
It's amazing.
Winning.
Because athletes do like to wear makeup.
Indeed, why not?
They don't all just go all natural.
Quick aside, sorry guys, fun story. Zara and I were working with an athlete last week and she sent me a picture in bed with her makeup on. Danny King, that's you, I'm shaming you. But she loved her makeup so much, she was like, well, I've got press first thing in the morning, so I'm just gonna sleep in it.
We actually
I don't advocate
condone. We don't condone wearing makeup to bed, but when it's that fabulous
Right.
after someone like Hannah Martin has done it, I understand. Okay, so moving on. Your other option is our natural brow shaper and hair touch-up. So we love the colored ones because they have a tint to them. When you don't want to add a lot of color to your brow, but you do want to keep them in place. You can comb through. It's like a mascara for your brow, right?
So
We love
easy.
that. Yeah, but it's also a great touch-up. If you get any of those grays coming in, you can just touch up with that.
Amazing, that's cheaper than getting highlights marked to hide it.
And I do hear about our clients using it for both,
Yeah.
which I think is fantastic. Okay, we love multi-purpose items. The other thing, though, that we're super excited about, and I'm going to use this on you so we can just show how easy it is to then keep the brow in place once you have it, is the brow shaper in clear is now 24-hour waterproof wear.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So if you're a swimmer, your brows are
Yes.
going to stay in place.
Amazing.
Yes, and it'll help lock in any of that color and also lock in the shape that you really want to comb those unruly hairs, because that's really important.
Amazing. All it takes is changing your jumper or something for, like, if you're like me
That
with
is
long
so
brows,
true.
for them to suddenly be like halfway down your face.
When I do brides and then I get everything perfect in place, then I leave them to be to get ready and get dressed.
Yeah.
And then I see
You've got
their
to be
brow
there.
is out of place.
Yeah,
It
it's so
drives me
annoying.
nuts. Okay, so we're just going to comb through, and what I'm going to do is comb upwards first towards the head of the brow, and then comb in with the direction of the brow hairs and how they're growing through the arch and the tail. And this is just going to give Hannah that lift. And you notice we didn't over define in the head of the brow. We want some of that wispiness. We want some of that natural aspect of the brow. I had a brain fart there. But I like to see.
I call it the
actually-
pineapple head.
Oh, that's a good one. I just like to see
Yeah.
some hairs because it lets me know they're real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
that's if they're there. Now, some people, you know, under certain circumstances, they don't have any hair. That's great too. We have the tools to do that. The perfectly defined brow pencil, honestly, it is the best for anyone who has no hair at all. So now we have before and after. I think it's pretty impactful. I think it really supports the eye shape, follows the brow bone. There's so many different things you can do with eyebrows, but I know that for a lot of women, they can't leave the house without at least doing their brows.
Yeah.
Right? Brows and mascara.
Totally brows and
Brows and
mascara.
mascara.
But also for women who've never filled in their brows before, I think sometimes they're a bit intimidated
Yeah.
or nervous they'll do it wrong.
Where do you even start?
Right, when you teach someone how to do a really good natural looking brow, it's so empowering.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I certainly have experience with friends where we'll take photos on an evening out or something, and often I'm the only person who actually has eyebrows, because so often an undefined brow in flash photography just disappears.
Yes.
And then you don't have that kind of symmetry to the face.
100%.
So I always say as well to friends or clients, if they're nervous about brow, I'm like, when was the last time you looked at a picture of someone in a magazine or on the red carpet and they didn't have an eyebrow?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's valid point.
There we go.
Point taken.
So we're going to quickly match up the other side so you can see the finished look. You guys okay?
Yes.
Should have cut that.
Mark's just picking croissant out of my eyebrow. It's a long story. It's been a long week, guys.
Video evidence of why it's there.
Oh, there is. Isn't it lush to hear brow do a mark mask?
Brow do a masterclass.
Yeah.
You should hear the stuff coming out of her mouth
Yeah.
these days.
So yesterday I ordered coffee. Did I tell you?
No.
At North Greenwich Tube Station. Do carry on if you can. And I opened my mouth and said something, and the two guys in the hut were like, "Sorry, what?" And I was like, "Why? What did I say?" And they're like, "Well, it wasn't English." I have no, I just couldn't. I had no recollection of what I'd even said, or what I didn't know what I was thinking. But I obviously just went or something. And they were like, "Do you want your usual large one?" And I was like, "Yes,
please.
I feel like I haven't had it yet. That's
I was
why
like,
it's
"It's
not.
been a kind of a long weekend."
Oh my god.
That's exactly the point. You haven't had your coffee yet, so it's hard to order it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone now.
So there we go. This is my favourite kind of brow, using my favourite kind of brow product, as done by my favourite kind of makeup artist. How fun. Guys, as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll post links to the website where we go into more detail about both the brow hair lesson and our brow service, and also Monsieur Le Marc's deets, because as you know, Marc does all of the Bobbi Brown YouTube channel videos. So
I don't have my own fancy channel. It's actually my honor to be featured on Hannah's channel. But
I love
you
that he's
can
so
find
fancy.
me about the Bobbi Brown world.
Yes, so I will leave all the places in which you can find Marc. I won't post your address because that's weird. But thank you so much, Marc, for carving out time to do this with us. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be great. For all my new subscribers, welcome to the family. It's great to have you on board. I told you I'd go into an American accent.
Yes.
And
She warned me about that.
yeah, I can't help it. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.